Hi, it's Labs again. I hope you guys are good. In this video, I want to continue my cloning tutorial. I have done lots of tutorials around how to clone a website on this YouTube channel. A lot of people know me for that. I have showed you exactly how you can use a tool like Figma and also use a tool like UiChemy. I've been doing a lot of tutorials around that lately because I want to just educate people and show people how to get things done. But in this tutorial, I just want to show you how this thing works. I want to show you how you can use this same tool, Figma, and also UiChemy to clone complex pages. I want to walk you through it step by step so that you can replicate the same process because I really believe this tool work and I really want to show you that it does work. It might be a little very long video. I hope it's not boring for you. So you may want to ensure that you follow my tutorial step by step. You can also save this video somewhere so that you can always make reference to it. It will be very, very needful. But I believe that if you can follow my steps, if you can understand the basics, you would never have any issues trying to clone a website again. For the purpose of this tutorial, we'll be using Figma. I mentioned that earlier. Figma is a free platform where you can design things. Fantastic platform for UI designer. I will also be using some plugins inside of Figma. Most notably is UiChemy. UiChemy is also a fantastic free tool. All of these things have paid plans, so you can also go pro on Figma, you can also go pro on UiChemy, and also be using another plugin called html.to.design. It's also free, but you can also go pro if you want. So you can get all of these things done literally for free. So without further ado, I think we should get started. So right on my screen here is UiChemy website, so you can go to the video description. You'll see a link to come here. Is a partners page, and you will see that this is recommended by dApps. It's very needful for you to use a partners page like this because you get to have every ongoing bonus that is available on UiChemy. And sometimes you will get deals here that is not publicly available, it's just for this community, and that's quite very fantastic. I also have a coupon code in the video description for you to check out in case you want to go pro, and that's just how I can give back to you. So that's it. So if you come down here, you see that you can literally use this tool literally for free. You have 10 exports per month, but if you want to have more, I would always recommend that you go pro, or you have the all access pro plan that I do have, and I think it's fantastic. So that's literally up to you. So this is what UiChemy is. You would need to create an account here for you to get a license to use it. So once that is done, the next place we want to come to is Figma. So you can just go to figma.com. You can create a free account and just start a project. I think this is literally very easy. I'm not sure you'll have a problem with that. I have tutorials that I've done in time past about this. I will leave all of those in the video description. You can check that out. I don't want to waste so much time. I just want us to hit the nail on the head. And that thing that I've done is that I have a WordPress website. So in case you don't have one, you want to set one, definitely you want to clone a website to WordPress, really. So I always recommend hostings. I have all of those deals in the video description. You can check them out. One of the things I have done here is that I've installed a theme called Nexta theme, and I've done some settings around that. I would leave a link also to that in the video description. But basically, you just want to go to customize, and you want to make sure you take away the header, the footer, and also the paddings from the website so that you can bring in a fresh design. Again, if you don't want to use Nexta theme, you can use any other theme. Just make sure that you take away all of those things. But if you want to use your header and footer, you can leave it literally. I believe you understand how these things work. And also on your WordPress website, I want to believe that you will have the UiChemy plugin installed. So I've done a lot of tutorials walking you through how to install UiChemy and also set it up on your website, add your license key so that you'll be able to interact your WordPress website with Figma. So in case you don't have that, you don't know how to do that, it's super simple. Just go to plugins, come to the backend of the website, go to plugins, just search for that plugin called UiChemy. You can install that. So you see I have that installed here. Follow the onboarding process. I'll also leave a link in the video description where I have done all of these things. Super simple and easy. So you can see on this website here, the only thing I have activated is Elementor, the free Elementor version, and also UiChemy. So that's it for all of this. So now let's go straight into this tutorial. Ideally, if I come to UiChemy, the first plugin I would love to use here is a plugin called html.to.design. So in your case here, you can just right click like I did and bring in the plugin. You can come up here and come to plugins and come to manage plugins and then search for html.to.design. You can run it if you have not used it before. So ideally before, I would just maybe want to clone a wordpress.org website. That's what I use most times in my tutorial. So if I just take this out and just do wordpress.org. So maybe you should open up wordpress.org. Let's see what that website looks like right now. So this is what wordpress.org looks like right now. So you can see what the page looks like. It's fantastic. Beautiful design here, right? So let's see if we can use this tool. I just want to show you exactly what I do before and what you can do better. So right now we come back here, and then everything I want to do here is to hit the import button. But before we do that, there are quite some settings that we must look into. If you know Figma very well and you know Elementor right now, you know they deal with containers, and the best way for you to optimize your design inside of Figma for Elementor is for you to make sure they are in auto layout. So if you come down here, you will see that you have the option here for you to set this up to auto layout, and then some other things here like add the hyperlinks on the page. So let's convert the design automatically to auto layout. I think it's a fantastic feature from this plugin. Let's hit the save changes. And then from here, you can also come here and then you can set viewpoint that you want to clone. You may also want to clone the mobile view and all of those things, but that's not really needful right now. We'll just leave the laptop view, which is 1440 pixel, and I think that's fine for now. So let's just import this into Figma and let's see what we can do. Great. So we have these cloned here, so we can close this plugin for now. So you can see we have the design here, and I think this is beautiful. I can just zoom this in for us to see exactly what we have. So we can see that here. This is quite fantastic. I don't know why I have this background here. That's not good. So let's come here. Let's see. I can just come here, and then I can ungroup this. You can see that is gone. So we now have this frame now as the main frame. So you can see it's a fantastic design. So from here, we can just use the UiChemy plugin to take this to WordPress website. And we can see that this is already set to auto layout. So let's just launch the UiChemy plugin. All right, so you can see that my frame already is selected here, and this is beautiful. So I have two options here: optimize and convert, and then just expressly convert this. But this is set to auto layout already, so let's just expressly convert this. What we are coming back to do is to see how we can optimize any complex pages to get a perfect clone inside of Elementor. So now let's expressly convert this. And let's use the live import option. And I have a website selected here. So like I said, I have all of these things done in previous tutorials. I'll leave them in the video description. You can check that out. But it's super easy. You can just click this and add the website, and then you will generate a token from your live website and add it to header here. It's super easy to do. And then I'll select this frame here. I will just go the new method here, select a new page, and then I'll go to the next, and then I can just import this to my live website. This is super easy. UiChemy make this a lot easier for us, and I think I love it. All right, so this is done here. Let me shift this a little backward. Okay, and then now let's view this page. So that's it. We have our page here, and I think this is super amazing. So let's scroll down. So you can see this is a beautiful design. Even though this image here is missing, I don't know why that is. You can see this one is still loading. Okay, I think internet issues here. This image also is not popping, but by and large, okay, I have some alignment issues here, and this image here not also popping. So by and large, you can tell that this is not a bad clone, and also this design is not a very complex design. So you can tell that if we log into the backend of Elementor here, we can easily drag and drop things out. Like this image here, we can just set it to fill this container here and do a lot of settings around this to make it perfect. But right now, let's just run away from this. Let's see how we can use the UiChemy plugin to work with maybe a more complex page, and then use the UiChemy optimization tool for us to be able to get a very good result. So right now, there is a website here called wdesignkit.com. It's a fantastic place where you get template, widget, fantastic stuff here. So if you come to your template here and come to Elementor template, like I opened here, you can see that they have quite a number of templates here, and I think they are quite very beautiful. So most of them are in the pro version, but again, let's just pick out any random website here to use. Let me come to architecture and let's see what they have in terms of templates. So now let's check out for the templates that are here. Section. I think this is a complete kit here. Let's open this up and let's see what this kit is about. Okay, so now let's see the live preview of what this kit is. Okay, so this is what this is about. Okay. Now you can see this is a more complex design. Maybe we should just let's try to use this. Let's just copy this URL and then let's come back to this here. I can just close the UiChemy plugin for now, and also this design here, I can delete this completely, and then I can launch our plugin again. Let's come to html.to.design. Now let's paste that URL here. So let me drag this off. For this example, we don't want this plugin to do auto layout. As you can see here, I'll just turn this off and then I'll save this, and then I think this is okay for this. I would import this design. Let's see. So my intention for this is for us to use the UiChemy optimization tool to manually do the auto layout and the optimization of this page. It can be long, it can be boring, but it guarantees you a good result. If I experiment with this and try to bring this design directly with auto layout from html.to.design to a live website, we might have some alignment issues here and there, but let's see what we can do to this. I think this is okay right now, so let's close this plugin. It has done its magic. So as usual, we have a beautiful design here inside of Figma. Unfortunately, it's not optimized, it's raw, it's not in auto layout, but we would work on that. As usual, again, I'm still getting this background. I don't know why that is, but I think that's a plugin issue. So let's just copy this, and I will just right click this, and then I will ungroup this. You can see that background is gone, and this is good. So for this right now, I can just possibly rename this. I can call this raw templates. Nothing is coming to my head right now, really, and that's what is coming to my head. So you can name this whatever you want to name this, but one thing I would do is that I would duplicate this. I can just do Ctrl D. So I want to have two of those designs because I want to optimize one, and then we can compare both design. So right now this is beautiful. You can see we have two design now. So now let's launch the UiChemy plugin again. I think I want to rename this from raw template to new template. All right, so now I've selected this new template right now, and then you can preview your design here. I think that's fantastic, but let's just come to optimize and convert here, and then let's convert this. And the first thing we want to do is to launch our optimization companion, and you can see the first thing it's telling us to do here is for us to lock every multi-layer media. So these layers are layers that have vectors, that have icons, they have a lot of things, and if you don't lock them, it would not be able to convert it into Elementor. So right now, let's check all of this one after the other and see, and we have quite a number of them here, about 35 of them. Let's go through them one after the other. So like I told you, it's a lot of work, but this guarantee you good results. So right now, let's just click this icon here to see what design is that. So you can see this is an SVG. So what we're going to do is for us to lock this like it's suggesting for us to do. So this is good. So once we lock this up right now, this will be exported into Elementor as an image, and that's very important. So now let's just hit this fix button. So you can see now that we have a lock icon here, and that is fine. So now let's come to the next one. The same thing here. Let's lock this. Let's come to the next one. The same thing, we want to fix this too as well. Let's come to this. So this right now is supposed to be a button. We can't just lock this up. So let's check this out here. So first off, you can see that this is supposed to be a button. It has an SVG, and then it has two vectors. So this vector here has a fill. The second one here has a stroke. So first thing I want to do here is to outline this stroke so that this would have a fill too as well. So you can see now we have a fill here, and then I can copy these two vector and turn it into one, and that is you can right click this right now and just come to flatten or just do Control E. So subsequently I might just be using the shortcut, but that's exactly what it means when I say that we want to flatten. So it means that we are turning this into one singular vector. So you can see that is done there. So apparently that has been turned into one vector, so we don't need this anymore. So what we can do is to just ungroup this. So you can right click to ungroup. I can just use the shortcut, which is Control backspace, and then we can come to our button here. So you can see that's fantastic. So for our button here, we have a vector and we have this text here, and I think that's good. So right now, if we rescan this, you can see that's gone. So now let's come to the next one here. Okay, so this is supposed to be something more like a slider, but you can tell from here that this design itself has a clip content. So clip content being enabled just means that you are instructing that any design that is flowing outside of this frame should be ignored. So that's why this is ignored. Let's try and search out for the frame there. Okay, let's come here again. Okay, let's find the frame. Okay, I think this is it. So you can see here, this is the clip content. So let's toggle this off so you can see now that is flowing out. So now let's come back to the button. What we want to do here is for us to lock this as well. So now let's hit the fix button and let's go to the next one. So that's the next button there. Let's fix that too as well. And let's go to the next one. Okay, so for now, let's fix this. Let's just lock it up. We would come back to that eventually. Let's come to these two as well. Let's lock that up, and the next one, which is the last one there, let's fix this. So now let's come to the next one, which is the border. So coming here, we can see that this is more like an icon, but if you come down here, you can see that this is a lot of vectors here. So we can drag this out a little for us to see. Okay. So you can see this is made up of several vectors. What we want to do is that we want to add those vectors together. We want to make it a singular vector. If you don't do this, we will not be able to convert this into Elementor, because Elementor don't work with vectors like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this. So I'll just do Control E, and that is now a singular vector. So right now, let's just remove these unnecessary frames that are here. So this one I can ungroup this. Also ungroup this. So this is the border here. So from here I can still ungroup this. So I now have this here. So for these ones now, we can lock them and we can also leave them, but I think it's okay to lock them. Let's just now fix this. So right now let's go to the next one here. So the same thing we're going to do for these two as well. Every of the vectors that make up this, we would try to flatten it, and then let's take out all of these unneeded frames. So for this now, we can lock this up. Just before I continue, you might need a learning curve for this. It might sound a lot boring, but this is just super simple drag and drop things here and there. You need to have a little understanding of how Figma work and also how Elementor work for you to be able to optimize your design by yourself when you have complex designs like this. But I believe this is super simple to do. This is something you can learn yourself if you want to put your heart to it. Once you have this understanding, you find this as a piece of cake. Within 30 minutes to 45 minutes, you are able to optimize an entire design, and within a day you can optimize a whole website, and from Figma you can have it live inside of Elementor. And I think this is amazing. So I'm going to do a lot of all of those things together in this tutorial for you to see how that works. So follow me along and let's continue this process. This has been fixed, I suppose. Let's rescan this and let's come to the next one, which is this. So as usual, you can see all of these things are vectors put together. You want to make sure that you copy all of those vectors. So I have one here. I have one here too as well. So I will just Control E, and then I would ungroup this. All right, so now back to our border. We can then fix this to lock that up. So now let's come to the next one here. That's this again. So we'll copy out all of these vectors. If you don't ungroup all of this right now, it's still fine. This optimization tool will still bring them back for us to take out those unnecessary frames. So in case you don't know what frame to take out, you can leave them as is. Just follow the prompt from the UiChemy step-by-step optimization process here. Is a fantastic thing. So the next thing is for us to optimize an SVG. The same thing here we did earlier on. There are two vectors. This one here has a stroke, so we're going to right click, we're going to flatten this, we're going to outline stroke, and then we're going to flatten this, and then we can ungroup, and then we have our button there, and I think that's good. Okay, so let's rescan. All right, let's come to our border. Oh, we didn't lock this. Let's lock it. It's not compulsory for us to lock that, but again, let's just lock that up. Okay, for this, the same thing here, and this is good. Right, let's rescan. So let's check the next one here. So here, this is an SVG that has a vector inside of it, and I think this vector is just the one there, so there's no need for us to have this frame already locking it. So let's just ungroup it. So I'll just ungroup that, and I think that should be that for that. Let's rescan. So let's check the next one. That's number 2. As usual, I will just ungroup. I'll click this and ungroup. Let's rescan. Let's go to the next one. That should be the number 3 there. As usual, let's ungroup that. Let's rescan. Let's go to the next one, number 4. As usual, let's flatten that as well. So let's rescan this. So we have one more SVG here. Oh, this is the button. So for this now, we're going to outline stroke. We're going to flatten them, and then we're going to ungroup this. All right, so that's it for this. Let's rescan this. So now we have a background here to play with. Okay, for this, let's see this. Okay, so this is okay. Let's just lock these two as well. Let's follow the recommendation. The next one, let's see. Okay, this is this. Let's fix this. Let's go to the next one. Let's fix this as well. So let's come to this. Okay, you can see this is 2 vectors here. As usual, let's flatten this into one, and then let's come to this. Let's ungroup this. Let's take out that, so we have only the vector there, and I think that's fine for now. Let's rescan this. Okay, so let's go to the, that has to be the next button here. So as usual, we're going to do the same thing. So for this right now, I will flatten this, and then I would ungroup this. All right, so now let's rescan this. Let's come to SVG here. This is a button. We'll just do the same thing we've been doing. Outline stroke, and then flatten this. Okay. All right, that's that. This is another button as well again. So let's outline stroke, flatten. All right, so that's it. Let's rescan. Let's come to links. All right, that's social media icons. Let's fix this. Let's just lock all of them. We're going to come back to that eventually, because we will need to optimize this here again further for us to be able to convert this successfully into Elementor. But again, these things are super easy for you to recreate inside of Elementor if that is easier for you, really. But let's come to SVG here. Let's see what we have. Okay, this is just one singular SVG here. Okay, I think I can just take out that, ungroup that. So this is fine now. But even inside of this is a group. Let's check. There are a lot of unnecessary things here. Let me see. So this is not needed. Let's open this group up again. Let's see some vectors here. So I'll just flatten this, and this is good enough, so I can delete this. So we have one singular vector now, so I can ungroup this, also ungroup this. All right, so now I have a singular vector here and then a text, and I think that's good. Let's rescan this. Let's go to the next. Another SVG there. Let's check. Okay, this one is one singular vector, so let's just ungroup that. Let's take out the SVG. All right, let's rescan. Okay, let's come to vertical border. All right, so now let's look at this logo and let's see what we have here. Okay, we have a group here too as well. We have vectors here. Let's open all of them up. I can just create more space here in case I need that. For this vector, okay. There's still some stuff here. Okay, these are all the vectors. Okay. Right now, let's just flatten all these vectors first into one. So I think that is making up the entire logo already. Let's open this up. Okay, this is part of it. So now let's flatten these two together. What do we have here? Let's see this. This is not necessary, so we can take that out. And then for this, let's remove that frame. This is also not too important. Okay, that's important. So for this vector and this vector, let's flatten them. And then let's take out this. And then let's ungroup this. Just a lot of unnecessary frames attached to this logo. And we have to take them out because they will just create unnecessary containers for us, really. So, all right. Okay, so I think this is good. Yeah, I think we have the same design there, and I think that's good. Okay, so let's rescan this. Okay, this is asking us to lock this. What I can do is to fix this now, and then the final thing here, let's open this. This is a vector. So I think I can ungroup this and then also ungroup this. All right, I think that's fine. So now let's rescan this. Okay, so you can see we are done with that. The next thing here is for us to optimize the quantity of images and SVGs. So this will just give us a lowdown of all the assets that we have on our page, because there are times that you can have some asset buried somewhere and you're not aware about it, so that this would not affect our design. Basically, it's just an informational thing here. You can zoom out for us to inspect and see every of the asset that we have, and I think this is good. Fantastic. There is nowhere we have any asset on this page that is different from what we want. So once you inspect this and you see that this is fine, no unnecessary asset hidden anywhere, everything is okay, so you can just mark this as done. And you can see this is bringing us to removing unnecessary group and frames. Like I told you earlier, I have removed a lot of them. So what you want to do is just check them out. I must have missed a few of them. So for this, so you can see there is no need for this frame, so you can just hit fix now, and this will take out all those unnecessary frames that are there. And the next thing here too as well, let's check that and let's fix this. So that's it for that. Enable clip content here, so let's see what that is. Let's just fix this. This is fine. Let's fix this too as well. Let's fix this too as well. All right, manage auto layout for standard frames. So what we want to do right now is to convert all the frames on that page to auto layout. Standard frames here that need to be locked together, and this is something that the plugin can automatically do for us. So let's just scroll down a little and let's just fix all. You can see every of those standard frames there has been converted to auto layout, and our design still remain intact. Where the real work is right now is to manage auto layout for complex frames. There are frames there that there are several options that we might have. They are not straightforward, so this plugin cannot turn them to auto layout for us. We have to manually do that ourselves. So if we come down here, we can see, let me check how many of them do we have. Quite a number of them there, 47 of them there, and these we have to fix them manually. So these are the things that you do if you have complex designs. You just have to take your time to fix all these things one after the other. Let's see this frame that is telling us here. This is a PNG here, but it's a link. What we can do to this is for us to either lock it or we can copy and paste it as a PNG. So if we lock this frame right now, what it will do is that it will export this as an image, and that's very important. So here what we have to do is to decide whether or not we want to convert this to a singular image or just want to lock it up. But again, let's check first and let's see what this is. So if we click this here, we can see that it has a few image here. Let's take this out and let's see. Okay, this is crop. Let's just set this to fill. I think that's okay for now. So what I would do for this is just to lock it up. So let's lock it, and I think that's fine. So now let's rescan. That's gone. So the next thing here is the background here. Let's check that out. Okay, so that's an entire frame right there. So we can inspect this and let's see what we have in this frame. So we can see that inside of this frame we have frames and text together. So what we're going to do is that we are going to reframe this. It's just not right when you are merging frames and elements together inside a particular frame and setting it to auto layout, you lose out certain things. So now let's look for frames that are identical. So like this one here, this one here, this one here. So these three things here can make a frame. So I'll just add it to I'll add it to auto layout. I'll do Control A there, or you can right click here and just come to and just set it to auto layout. But it's at auto layout already, so that's it there. And the next thing here is a text. So we have this text here, we have another one here. So what we can do here is to just add this together. It doesn't make any sense for you to have a text here, another text here, and this one is inside this group and this one is not. So those are the complexities of designs. So for this heading here, what I would do is to change the directions. This is auto layout, so you can see it's aligned horizontally. So I will change this to vertical. I'll just drag this down here So as you can see that this is now inside this heading here, and I think that's super amazing. So what I can do right now for this as well is to change this to org content. That's also very important so that we don't play with space. Just take out just org all the content that you have. So it makes sense here. Org, this kind of thing. We can still inspect this background here. So you can see we have a rectangle here that gives background. So you can see it has a few color. What can we do here? Let's see. You can see that. So what we can do basically here is to use the Figma auto tool here to suggest auto layout. So let's do that. So you can see that has been added to auto layout, and then the background has been taken out. It's a fantastic tool. Yeah. Just before I continue right now, I just need to say this 100%. I can agree with you if you believe this is a lot, especially if you are new to Figma and if you don't know exactly how to use tools like this. But I believe it's just that learning curve. If you can take your time, spend some time to learn this, you would find it super simple and amazing. But again, if you find it too overwhelming, you just want to focus on your business, you need somebody to do this for you, you can always talk to me. I always have my email in the video description. I can help you do all of this dirty job. So right now, let's continue this tutorial. So where are we right now? Let's rescan this and let's go to the next background. Let's check it out. So this is what we have here. So you can see this. Here I would want to add, let's see what we have in this frame, so that we can add auto layout. Quite a number of things here really. Okay. We have this here. So let's just begin to group things. We have these two as well, and a rectangle there. So for this, I'll just apply a frame here, Control A. So that's it. Let's come to the next one here, and this. Okay. Let's add another frame there. Let's come to these two as well. Okay, another frame here too would do. All right, so this is a heading. And then we have to group this together, these three. We have some rectangles here. Okay, these are rectangles that are inside of this. So let's group this together. All right, so now you have a frame that just have another frame here and then a text here, and I think that's beautiful. So now let's add this to auto layout. I'll do Control A, and then we can see we are losing some height there. That's fine. We can always work on that later. Let's rescan this. So let's come to the next one here. So for this here, we can see that I think this is an image. So this is an image here. So if you come down, you can see it's an image. So what we can do is it's a group image. So let's just right click this. Let's copy this as a PNG, and we can see this has been copied, and we can just replace it with the same image that is there. Let's just paste to replace. So you can see this is now an image. So that should solve for that problem. We can still look into what we have here. Okay, we have this vector here. Okay, for this, I can just suggest auto layout. All right, so I can just use add that to auto layout, and then let's come to this frame here. Let's just add auto layout to this. Okay, so for this right now, you can see this is down here. We can just set this to absolute. And then let's drag this somewhere up here. We're going to edit this eventually later. Okay, so now I can see this right now. Okay, I think that's it for that. So what we can do is to rescan this. This is gone. Let's come back here. Okay, so for this, let's just add this to onto layout. Done. Let's rescan background. Okay, now we have the entire background there. We need to check out this for us to see what we have. Okay, so you can see for this right now we have this here, and this like this can go into a frame. So let's add auto layout to that, and then let's come to the next one here. I think this is okay. So this one here is fine. Let's come to this. Okay, and this. Okay, so this and this can be added to a group. Control A, and then with the background. Okay, let's add another group there again. Control A. All right, so this and this. Control A. With this, another group there. That will be fine. This with this as a group, and then with the background too as a group. All right, so that's good. So this now and this now and this now can be added to a group. We just want to group everything. We want to just frame all those things up. So these two with this can be added to another group. All right, so this and these two can be added to another group. All right, so you can now see that we now have this background here that is just having two frames here. So you can see this, and this is beautiful. So the beauty about it is that once you are opening up this frame now, you can see another subframe. So it has to be well categorized like this. It's a lot of work, but right now with this now, I can just do Control A, can add this to auto layout, and I think that's fine. So now let's rescan this. I have another background. Okay, so here we have this heading here, and this you can see should be in a frame. So let's add this to a frame there. This one here, and this and this. So we can see here that these ones here are frame, but I think we should first add auto layout to them first as single frames. So you can see this. All right, so now let's add all of those logos to a single frame. All right, so now we now have two frames inside this background. I think this is good. So now let's add this to auto layout. Then let's rescan this. The next thing here is an image. So we can see that it's a group. As usual, we'll just copy this as PNG, and then would replace it with the same image, paste and replace. That has changed the image too. So now let's rescan this. That's gone. Let's do that for the remaining image there. So the same thing here. Let's copy this as PNG. Or we can lock it. It's not compulsory you do what I'm doing. Once you lock it, once you are migrating it away, to convert it automatically to an image. But I just love to do these things myself. So right now I can paste to replace the next image there. All right, so you can see that if we rescan all of this, these images should be gone. Let's rescan. So they are all gone. So now let's come back to our background here. So for this, there's a lot of optimization we still need to do. So we have a button here. That's good. Another one there. So these two should go into a frame. So let's add auto layout, Control A. And then these images here, so you can see this and this. Okay, this and this. No, I have that wrong. So this one here and this one here should go into a frame, Control A, and then the three there can go into another frame. So we need to make this one to a frame. So we can just do this, and this can go to a frame too as well. All right, so we now have a background of just two frames, this one up here and this one down here. That one up and down, whatever it is. Then let's add this to auto layout, and you can see that's added, and that's good. So let's rescan. Okay, let's come to border. Okay, so for this one, let's inspect these two. Let's see what we have here. So you can see we have a button, we have this vector, we have this text, and also this text here. So this can make an icon box. So let's add this to a frame. All right, there. So you can see we have a button here too as well. Okay, so now let's come to this one here. Let's just suggest auto layouts. We have this rectangle still here, and we have these frames now set to absolute position. But what we're going to do is we're going to delete this, and then these two here, we have to take them away from absolute. Okay, so you can see we lost the alignments there. I think okay, so I just need to, okay, 41, 143, okay. All right, so now I can just come back here and we can add the properties. I can just do 40, and then for this one here, let's just do 60. Okay, so we can still see that there's a space here between this and this, so we can still check for that to be sure. And for this, let's just, okay. All right, so let's come back here, and then let's do another 40 here. Okay, so what I will do right now is that I will just do the same thing for every of this, and then I'll copy the properties here. I'll paste this so that we have the same design for all of them. Okay, good. So now let's come back to this one here, which is this. So I'll copy these properties here for this border here. I'll come to this one, I'll paste that here, paste property. So you can see I'll come to the next one here, I would paste that property too as well, and then the last border here too. Good. So we have this optimized now, and I think this is good. So if we come down here, come to this text too as well, we can add that to auto layout. So we have a button here. So all right, so for these as well, what I can do is that I can add these two to a frame first, add the next two to another frame, and then add these two frames together to another frame. All right, I want to make sure that the alignment of this is okay, so it's set to vertical. I think that's beautiful. All right, okay, so this is now ready for auto layout. So now let's add this to auto layout. So that's beautiful. So we're going to work with the alignment eventually, like I said earlier. Now let's rescan this. Let's come to the next one. For this, we can begin to add further groups. So let's check this. Okay, this and this. That three can be in a group. So for this right now, we can add this to auto layout. All right, and then we can come to see that we have a background image here. So we're going to sort this out eventually. Let's come to article here. Let's send this to auto layout. So you can see that we have this up here, so we can change the alignment from up to down. So we have this back at down, and also for this, We can change the alignment of this from fixed to fill. So this should make that full screen. I think that's good. So for our background image here, what we can do is that we can see that this image here is set to the background, and then we have something here. So we can just easily just come here and come to this background image. We have this image here. We can just easily just copy this image, Control C there. I'll come to the entire frame there, and then I'll come to the fill here. I'll just add this, and then from here I'll just paste the image here. So you can see I now have the image there, and let's come to the background. Let's come to the overlay. There you can see that we have 32 as the overlay for the image. So let's come back here and then add that overlay to that, so I can add 32. So once this is done, I can come to this background here and this overlay, then we can delete that, and then we can see that this is good. All right, so this is exactly what I'm going to do for every of the other images that are there to optimize them. So let me just do that real quick, so you watch me do this. All right, good. So I have this now optimized. So now let's continue with UiChemy, and let's rescan this, and then let's come to background, the next one there, which is everything inside of this frame here. Now let's check what we have there, and let's see if we can still add this to further groups. So we're going to start with this. As usual, this and this can be in one frame, so let's add this to another frame there. And for these, okay, this and this can be in a frame, and this can be in a frame. So background is ready here. So now let's add auto layout to this. Okay, so I think that's done. All right, so now let's rescan this. Let's come to the next one there. So for this, we can see this is an image too as well. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to copy as PNG, and then we are going to paste. But in your case, you can lock it like I always say. That's fine. Paste to replace. All right, so let's rescan. That's gone. Let's come to the next one. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing for this. Is a PNG too as well. All right, let's rescan this. All right, so we need to optimize this. Let's see what we have. We have a text there. Okay, we have this. This. See this text here, I can add this to a frame, and then I can add this and this image to a frame too as well, because this can make an icon box really. So I'll add that. We have this image ruined here. I don't know why that is, but we can fix that. And then what do we have here? We have this text here. I think this is good. All right, so what to do to fix this image here? Let's come out. So let's come to this one here, and that's the reason why it's good to keep the original image, so that you can use it to compare. You can use it to compare, and if there is a need, you can always come back here. So this one here, I will just, as usual, it's the same thing here. I will just copy as PNG, and then let's paste that here. Paste to replace. All right, so that's sorted. So what we can do for this is to come here, so you can see we have a frame, text. Okay, so now we can add this to auto layout. All right, that's good. So now let's come to rescan. Let's come to the next one, another background there. For these vectors here, we are going to add this to auto layout. For this background, okay, that's fine. Then the image there, that's fine. Okay, so now let's add this to auto layout. All right, that's good. So now let's rescan this. This is boring, really. I still have about 17 more to go, so I need to move very, very fast so that this video doesn't get unnecessarily long. So this is a frame that is an image, so we want to, as usual, copy and paste. So let's copy as PNG and then paste to replace. Let's rescan this. Let's come to article. Okay, so we now have an article here that has this text and this text. So now let's add this to auto layout, and then let's add this now to auto layout. All right, that's good. Let's rescan and let's go to the next one, which should be that image there. So as usual, copy this to PNG and then paste to replace. So as usual, let's come to this text here. Let's add this to a frame, and then let's add this to a frame. All right, so now let's rescan this. Let's go to the next one, which should be the next image there. As usual, I'm going to copy as PNG and then paste to replace. So coming up here, all right, auto layer harded. So now let's rescan this. Let's come to the next one, which is the background. Okay, so for this we have article 1, article 2, article 3. Apparently these three things here can go into a frame. And then let's come to the button here, is fine. And then the header there is fine too as well. Auto layout added. Let's rescan. Let's go to the next one, text area, which is this form here. Let's see what we have. So for our form here, let's add this to auto layouts. So this can affect that this button here is fine. So what you can just do is to switch this back. So you can see from fill here, we can just change this to org content, and you can see that's back. All right, that's good. Let's rescan this. So text area here, let's add this to auto layout. Rescan. Okay, so this is an image here. As usual, let's copy and paste this. All right, so for this one, let's see what we have. We have our links and the image. So for these links here, which should be our social icons, let's add that to auto layout, and then we have this image here. So now let's add this to auto layout. All right, so let's rescan this. Let's come to a vertical border. Okay, for this here, we just have three text here. I don't know why this is 3, but this should just be 1. So let's just copy them into each other. And paste that there. And then I can then delete these 2. So what I can do for this is for me to change the alignment. So I can come down here. And then I can see I can give this auto height. Okay, I think that's good. So we now have just one text, which is fine. And then we have these ones here. Okay. So let's add this to auto layout. All right, that's beautiful. So now let's rescan. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so for this one, we can easily just change this image since it's an image here. So let's, as usual, copy this as PNG, and then let's paste that to replace. Okay, so let's rescan. The next one here is this. This is also an image. So let's uh, copy as PNG, and then let's paste to replace. Right, let's rescan and let's continue horizontal. Okay, so for this we can see everything we have here. Just add that to a group, and then for this, so what we can do here is that you see these three things here: text. We can just make it a singular text, really. Privacy policy. Then this one, I can just copy this and paste that there, and then I can copy this and then delete them. There's no need just flogging text all around. For this, I can change the alignment to auto width, right? And that's good. All right, so for this now I have an image there, and for this image and this text we can also add that to a group. All right, so for this now I can add this to an auto layout, and I think that's good. So let's return this back here. Let's rescan. This just take common sense to do, really. So now let's come to the footer. That's a lot. We're almost done. I think that's something to cheer about. So let's see everything we have here in this footer. Let's see if we can regroup things. Definitely we should be able to. So this is a group. This is good. This one here with these services here can go into a group. Let's control A that. So this one here and this one too can go into a group. And then that's it. All right. So for this right now, I can then add this to auto layout. And that's it for this. So you can see that we have some alignment issues here. You can see some white stuff here. We're going to sort that out eventually later. Let's rescan this. So horizontal border, let's check this out. Okay, so this is for the header here. You can see we still have some alignment issues here. Once we are done with these, we'll come back to sort all of this out. So this is our button. We have a vector here. Okay, that's good. Let's see everything we have. All right. So for our button and this vector can be added to a group. Let's do that. Let's add this to auto layout. All right, that sits there. So let's come up here and let's rescan this. So you can see that's done there. Anything more to do? Okay, we need to apply auto layout to our mainframe. Let's see that. All right, so what we're going to do there is just fix. All right, so auto layout done here. So the optimization process here is over. So for now, let's just close the UiChemy plugin, and then now let's look into our frame for us to see what we can do to still optimize this here. This is super amazing. Okay, so for our new design, let's just see what we can do to optimize this. So this is everything we have here. We have a background. What we can do is to just drag this out. Let's take it away from this background, and let's just delete this background completely. And then this here, let's drag this up. So you can see we now have our menu here, and I think that's pretty much close to that. For this one here, we will change the height here. You can see there's a space at the top, and there is maybe space beneath here. So we're going to change this from the height from fixed to just all content. So you can see the arrow there is pointing down. I think this is good. Even from this frame here, I think it's okay for us to have every of our frame here inside a new template frame here, which is our main frame. So let's see if we can just ungroup this too as well. Let's just do shift back. Okay, so I think this is good. All right. So this is our menu, this is the body, and this is the footer, and I think this is fine. So what we're going to do is now let's compare, let's see what we have in terms of the results. All right, so you can see that we are missing something here. So you can see that our menu here is not supposed to have a color. It's supposed to work with this background here, so we can fix that. So we can just add another frame there to solve that problem. So since these two work together, let's add them to a new frame. Let's do Control A there, and then let's open up this. So we just need to come here and let's come to this image here, and then let's copy it. So it has a fill of 70%. That's good. Let's come to the main frame here, and let's come to fill here, and let's paste that image there. Let's add the 70% fill to that. So now let's come to our main frame here, and let's delete the image and then delete this. So you can see what we now have is the same here, and I think this is good. So what we can still do here is that we can just rename everything we have here. So let's do that. So we can rename this, and we can call these container sections whatever. Maybe I should just call it containers. Let's use number to differentiate them, and then let's rename. So you can see we now have this as container 1, 2, 3, so you can easily work on that. So the next thing we want to do right now is to just inspect the entire design and see. I think we have some alignment issues here and there. So you can see this one is a little bit shorter, so alignment. So we're going to check out for the spacing, and then we're going to add all the spacing to this manually. And I think that's just something very easy for us to do. So let me do that right now. So coming here, let's just see. You can see we have 33 here. So coming here, you can see coming to our frame here, we can see that here we have a 150. So let's change this to 33. So from here, we can just change this to org. That's fine. So we can see now that that's is aligning well. So we can just go through all of this to see. All right, so I think we have sorted the alignment issues, but I'm seeing an alignment issue here. I don't know how that is, but we can check it out. Okay. Okay, this in itself should have been a frame. I don't know why we didn't put that, but that's fine. we can still add this to a frame, and for this frame here we can change it back to the size, which is 1440, and then we can align it to the center. And I think that's it. Okay, so I think this is cool, so we can check now. And pretty much the same designs we have here, and I think this is fantastic. It may look to you as though you're done with this, but there's still a little bit of things we can still do here. Ideally, the first thing I would love to do would be for me to go through every of the elements we have one after the other to remove spacing and all those things. We just want our child element basically to fill every of the main container. We want to go through all of them to see that we set them. Like you can see this one now, this is set to fixed. This is not what this should be. Every of the settings here are still things that we can do inside of Elementor. So I've spent time here. I think I should also spend a little more time inside of Elementor to perfect my design. But basically, we can still go through them, and we need to still do some things, which would be for us to tag some of the elements. We might want to spend some time there too as well. But again, we can look through. Okay, I think here, let's see what we have here. We have some things here, like a rectangle here that isn't displaying and is not displaying here, is not able to capture it here too as well. Maybe we should go to the page there. Let's see what we have. Okay, it's more like a stroke. We can fix that briefly, because if we don't do that, we would have issues. So coming back here, we can look into this. So what I will do here is to add the frame there so that we can control things. All right, so let's open this frame up. So we have a rectangle. So what we would do here is to add a stroke to this frame. So we want to change this to white. We can come up here to set this to 1. Let's delete our rectangle first. All right. So we can reduce the height to 1. Okay, and then let's come back to our stroke. For our stroke is inside. That's good. We can play with this. From solid, we can make this dash. So I think we've been able to replicate something like that. We can work more on that. You can redo that to however you want, but I think that's perfect for now. So let's just copy this, and let's come to this rectangle here, and then we can paste to replace. Okay, so I think we have that sorted there. It's just for you to just play around with all of these things to make sure that you are able to just come up with something that would work. So I think that's it for now. I really would not want to spend much time here again trying to go through all of this. Whatever issues we get eventually, we're going to fix that inside of Elementor. But another thing we can right now, let's continue this process. Let's launch the UiChemy plugin again. Let's come to plugin, UiChemy. Okay, so what we want to do here, let's select our mainframe. Okay, so what we want to do is to come to our widget tags. We want to tag some things, and that's how this work. We have a lot of design here, but the thing is that once they are going into Elementor, what do we want to tag them as? That's very important, and this is very simple. So zooming in more here, we can start first with things. So let's come up here first. I think this, definitely you agree with me, this is a button. So definitely we want to tag this a button. We just want to tell UiChemy that once you are transferring this to Elementor, just make this a button. All right, so we can come here and we'll select button. So you can see it has been pre-filled. Link, if you have a link, you can put that, but I'll just leave this. If I have an icon, we can select that here. I'll just save this, and that has been tagged as a button. And that's super simple, yeah. So you can go around and tag things. So this right now should be a heading. For example, if you come here, You can find a heading here, and you can tag this at whatever heading you want to tag it at, header 1, header 2, whatever it is, but I can just leave this as it is. So for coming down here, this one here right now can be a lot complex. This should be more like a counter, but the way this is structured, we might have a problem. But ideally, we should separate prefix from suffix if you are very familiar with how Elementor counter work. So what I can do right now would be for me to duplicate this. I can duplicate that text there, and then from here I would take away the plus. So we want to have them differently. So from here I would, for the second one here, I will just take away the 24. Okay, so for these two right now, what we can do is to change the alignment. Let's make this org. I think that's good for now. This text should be part of the counter too as well. So what I can do is to just drag this from there. I can just drag this here. So we can play around with this. For the direction, we want to make this a wrap so that we have that down at some point. So let's drag this a little. Okay, maybe something like this. And also for these two as well, we want to so something like this is good for this right now. So for this heading here, we can just take this out. All right, so we can see that that is aligning better. So for this now, we can just tag this as a counter. So let's come here to counter. So you can see number heading 24, title is year of experience, number starting at maybe 1. For starting number, maybe we should just put it back to 0. We don't have any separator there. That's fine. For our number prefix, there is no prefix there at all. So we're going to cancel this. For number suffix, then we're going to do the positive sign there, and that's it. So we're going to save this. So this is how to tag these right now. So we're going to see this really work, and we can easily just copy and paste this into this and change the figures. But I don't want to waste so much time trying to do all of this, but you get the idea. I just want to show you how all of this work. So this as well too can be tagged as a button. So the text is this. So we have the vector there, and then we can put our link. Icon position should be after, and then we can save this. So that's really how to tag this. So you will see that this will come out now inside of Elementor as a button instead of just a text. So we can go on and on and on. For these two as well, we can tag this now as button. We don't have an icon, and then the link, we don't have an icon. So there's no need for position. That has been tagged. So we can do the same thing for these two as well. This is a button too here. So let's tag this as button. So these two should be tagged as a title, but I would not be tagging that right now. So this here should be tagged as a testimonial. But and all of this frame, we can rename them so that they carry the name of your tag. That's very important. But I'm going to leave that. I just want to show you, spend a lot of time here right now. So this should be an image box, really. So let's do an image box. So we have an image here for our title. Title should be the name, description should be marketing executive, and I think that's fine. So let's save this. Let's tag this as a button. There's still a lot we can tag this with, and if we come back here, you would see that we have some Pro widgets. So for the Elementor Pro widget, you want to make sure that you have Elementor Pro installed already before you can use them. It's very, very important. And also you have Plus widget, so you can go to your plugins and install the free Plus widget. And I think that plugin too also has a Pro version. So if you use it, you would have access to a lot of other features like these that you can easily tag things as. So you can begin to tag WooCommerce products. And I think that's fantastic. So that's if you're trying to clone maybe a a WooCommerce product or an e-commerce product. So I think that's fantastic. So if you have a form like a WP form, Everest form, or contact form, or even MailChimp, you can see all of those things here. And that's the beauty about tagging all of this. But I'm just strictly working with the free widget right now, so I will leave that. So for example, this is a form. We could just easily tag this as a Elementor form, and that's a pro widget. So let's leave that. So this should have been a text. So this is also a button. So let's just tag all the buttons, and then let's just drop that for this tutorial. So button, now the link icon position should be after. So let's save this. That's it for tagging. We can leave this as is. There's still a lot of things we can tag here really, but I really don't want to spend time doing all of that. I just want to show you exactly how to get this done. So since we are done with the tagging, there's still a lot we can do here, like our global styles. We can pick. You can see this is the current global colors we have right now on my website. So we can set our global typography and global colors here by using the colors we have here, so that that would reflect the colors we have. So that's also possible. I really don't want to go into that now. Do all of those things in subsequent tutorials with UiChemy, and you can watch out for that. And also for a responsive manager. But right now, let's just try to convert this and let's see what we can do. So trying to convert this, we have two methods. The live method, like we did earlier, so I think I will stick with that. Yes, the new template is what we want to work with. So let's come to new. I can just come to page. You can also export this as an Elementor template. So if you have Elementor Pro on, you'll be able to add this as either header, footer, or maybe build your Elementor theme right inside here. And I think this is amazing. So that's the pro. That's the reason why Elementor Pro is very, very useful when you're using this. It will save you a ton of time. And I think I've talked about this before, that I don't recommend bringing header and footer into a page. You know, WordPress Elementor doesn't work that way. If you want to have a full website, what you would do is that you would detach your footer and your header. You export them directly as header and footer using Elementor Pro, and from there you can then add all the other pages. That's how so that's how it works. So you can check the video description for you to see links to those tutorials, and also links to Elementor Pro in case you want to invest in that. All of them would be in the video description. So right now this has been imported successfully. So let's open this up and let's see what we have. So you can see here we have a page here. Okay, some issues here, which is good. So you can see the one we tagged there. So you can see that that was animating, but these ones here are constant. We can still rework that. I think there's a lot of space here too we can work on. Oh, we did not bring this to the center somewhere here, but I think this is okay. The text here needs, so you can see all the spacing I'm talking about. So you can see our button here is fine. Okay. This here we need to work on the spacing here. Oh, we didn't set background color for this. Oh, that's a challenge. And that's one thing you want to remember. You always do that. If you have content like buttons like this, you want to make sure you add a content. You want to make sure you want to add feel to that, so that you can give the background color, and from there you can now change the opacity. What will happen if you don't do that is that it will pick the default colors inside of Elementor and then add it here, which is not good, but we can change that too as well inside of Elementor. So you can see so far, so you can see the same thing for all of these buttons here. All of this that we tagged as button, that's a challenge. So you can see these two as well, these two as well. But again, that's fine. This is not aligning properly, but those are the things that we can correct. Even some of the things here too as well. But let's just edit this with Elementor, and let's just fine tune this inside of Elementor real quick. Usually for me, the final set of optimization will do the magic. I'll be able to go through all of the elements and check them to see that everything has a feel, has a color, and all of those things. So the first thing here is to play with the alignment here. So we can check out for this. All right, let's leave that first. Let's come to this. 65. Okay, let's come here. So you can see we have some padding or margin here. We can take all of them down. So just taking that out, so you can see that we have this aligned here perfectly. So for our button here, let's come here. Let's come to style. So we can just play with random figures here for us to have our button aligned correctly, and I think that's good for now. So you see that that's perfect. So for our text here, we even have a break function here. That's crazy. But what we can do really is for us to change the typography. We just want to reduce the size. That size is crazy. Something like this, or whatever works for you is fine. For this one here, we can just easily just drag this out. So we can drag this till we find something perfect that we want. So this is settled there. So all these ones are fine. So this two is fine for this text now. So you can see we have two texts here. Ideally, we should copy this into each other. So what I can do here is to just copy this text. And then I'll paste that here. So I would delete this completely. So for these two as well, we can easily just change the typography to something smaller, maybe something like this, depending on what you want really, till you find the perfect balance. So for these as well, I can just easily drag this out. Okay, let's take this away. So this here too, we can work with this. Let's see. See that? Unfortunately, we are not able to tag this here as progress bar, but what we can just do is to just replace the progress bar really. But these two as well, we can do the same thing. We can just easily just drag this out. And we can also see play with the general height for this. So we can maybe something like this is good just for this. And for this text, we might also want to maybe reduce that. All of this doesn't seem to be aligning properly, so we can correct all of that by just dragging them into each other. Those things happen, so you can see this. Right. So I think this is now perfect. So we can increase this, reduce the size till we find something very, very good. What was this like before? Let's check this. Oh, not this. Okay, this is this on a straight line. So let's edit this to be that way. So I think just reducing the size would solve that problem. Something like this. All right. So even for here too as well, we have two text here. I don't know why that is. We can copy this out. Let's just paste that here. All right. So for this, we can just delete this completely. And for this, we can also reduce the typography. Something like this. For our button here, we need to take out that color. All right. Unfortunately, tagging this really ruined this design, so we don't have control over the icon here to increase the size. Is just sad. In case you have unique designs as button like that, what I would advise that you do is that you leave it the way it is and then just add a link here inside of Elementor. I don't even know if I'm messing things up here, or But basically, there's just no way to increase the icon size there. So that's something very important that you need to take note of. And also for these two as well, we need to just make this transparent. So that is solving for this. And then we can increase the width till we have it on a straight line. I think that's solving for that. So I can copy this and then I can paste style. So you can see copy, paste style. All right. The same thing for this. You can see we pretty much ruined this design, and I'm really not happy about that. But that's fine. But there's still solution to that. What you can do is that we can go to Figma and copy these vectors. Okay, good. We can come to Figma and copy these vectors here, save them, and then upload them into Elementor. That's to solve the problem, right? So I think that's still fair enough. So we can leave this. So you can see we have two text here too as well. We can play with that. For this, we need to take out that color. Okay. So for this, let's copy this. Let's paste that here. All right, I think this is perfect. So we can still maybe increase that, you see, and then increase the size from here. Whatever it is that work till you find the perfect balance. I think that's beautiful. So I think that's pretty much how to solve this. So this right now, this is supposed to be a test image box. The alignment is poor. We can also rework our footer, but I really don't want to waste time all of that. But you see, this is exactly how to get the perfect design. It's a lot of work, but it is rewarding when you are done and you have your design. And I think this is super amazing. The next thing you can still work on is the responsiveness. You really want to make sure that everything here is responding on every of the devices. So you can see there's little or nothing to really work on. So for this one, just the height, you need to rework that. These two as well. So we can go to the mobile from, okay, so you can see everything is pretty much aligning properly. Just to change the text here and there till it is perfect. So this is super amazing. This is super amazing. So that's exactly how to get the perfect design, cloning any website, bringing it to Elementor using UiChemy. The optimization tool makes it a lot easier. So if you know your way around Elementor, you can easily tweak things here and there. But again, if you spend time inside of Figma, you should be able to get the perfect design. So that's it, guys. That's my time for this tutorial. I believe it's been super useful to you. If it has, give me a thumbs up. You see how super simple and easy it is for you to use UiChemy and also use html.to.design to clone any website and bring it into Elementor. I will leave a link to all of these tools in the video description. You can check them out. Give it a try. Go through the optimization process. If you have any issues, let me know. I'll look out to help you. And that's my time for now. I'll see you in another one. And until then, stay safe.